Hi, welcome back to my High Plains life. It is January 19th, 2018. I'm your host, Danielle, and this is episode 37. I'd like to welcome any new viewers who are beginning the new year looking for new podcasts to follow, and welcome any existing viewers who have decided I'm interesting enough to continue following. So thank you. I am going to jump right into things and start with the knitting. What is on my needles? I have no FOs. You saw them all last time. And what I've finished, I've gifted. So there's nothing left to show. Although the pair of socks I was working on for my mother, let's see, they were the blueberry waffle socks in an opal colorway. That's the yarn. This is how much is left over. And I didn't take a finished object photo. I asked my mom to send me a picture, and so hopefully she texts that to me today and I can get it up on my project page. But other than that, no FOs. I do have some new whips, things that I had not cast on previously last time we talked. And that is because I have a Christmas Eve cast on. And actually ended up being Christmas Day because Christmas Eve was busy. But I am doing Stay at Home Socks by Bettina Cross. And these are this is a Cascade. That's my dog. Cascade Paints colorway. It's just, I'm sorry about the lighting. It's an odd time of day. Winter. It's just a gray navy blue blend variegated color. There we go. And Stay at Home Socks by Bettina Cross. So they're stockinette on the bottom, and you have this interesting pattern on the top, and then it'll go all the way around the leg. You might say, where are your heels, Danielle? I swear you posted on Instagram that you put the heels in. I did, and I frogged them. I took them out because my husband tried them on, and while I thought they fit, because they're supposed to be snug, apparently they were a little too tight for him, and he asked if I could redo them. It's just knitting. So of course I said yes, because they're his first pair of hand knit socks. I want them to be comfortable. I want him to love them so that I can knit him more. And so I ripped out the heels, picked up the stitches again. I already had the front needle on because I was just working the back half for the heel. So I just had to pick up some stitches and rip out until I hit the needle. And now I'm restarting the heel. I just started it. You can just see some increases. The Spacious OMG Hill by Bank & Williams, the Stockinette Zombies. I like this heel. It's kind of a toe up. It's kind of a mock gusset. She has the OMG heel and then the Spacious OMG heel. And for those of us with wide feet, the Spacious OMG heel gives you that little bit of room that you need, but still cups your heel really comfortably. And I like it. And my husband has wide feet also, so I figured I'd try a wider heel for him to try and be comfortable. Okay, so Heritage Paints gray-blue color. I don't know, it's a number. Stay-at-home socks by Bettina Cross. I'm at the hills. Yay. So that was my Christmas Eve cast on for the Little Bobbins podcast. Another one of my whips is the silver cardigan. It's the silver cardigan by Christina Temin. And this is using Lorna Lace's Sportmate in a very bright pink and orange colorway. You can say, oh no, Danielle, you ran out of yarn. Yes, I did. Inches from the end of a row. Perfect end of a row because it was a purl back. So I continued my lace pattern. You can see the diamonds happening. When it's blocked, it'll be so cute. What am I going to do, you say? I'm looking for a pink to match it. There is not another skein of this anywhere I could find. It's discontinued. So I'm looking for a pink and a sport weight to coordinate, and that'll just be the bottom garter band, and they're just cap sleeves. So there's a couple decreases and then a garter band row around the cuff. And I think those will be fine in pink, even if the collar and the button band isn't done in the same coordinating pink. So that's my plan for the silver cardigan. I also had to rip this out in its entirety. You saw where I was last podcast. I had split for the sleeves. I went to my sister's over Christmas, tried it on my niece, and fit the 4-year-old. So, rip, frogged it all, and started over with a smaller needle size. So I went from a 3.25 millimeter to a 3 millimeter. I think that's a size 3.5 US to a 3. It's a 3. So that is knit as far as I can take it. Now to just find the coordinating pink. Hopefully finish it before winter's over so that my niece can wear it before she's too big for it next year. Babies, they grow so fast. Sorry, this is the sock yarn, hand-painted sock yarn. Heritage hand-painted sock yarn that I'm making my husband's socks out of. Okay, I did have the thing. And I'll show you my next whip is also another pair of socks. So between socks for my husband and then the new pair of socks I started on the new year for me, lots of socks knitting up. And I have been using my sock ruler. I can't remember who it's by. You can buy it online or local knitting shop. Sorry about the lighting. I love it. I've been using it tons. It's a great reference to try the sock on to and see how far your stitching has gone when you don't have the person handy to just keep trying it on their feet. You know, you can't ask them to take your shoes and socks off so I can try my whip on you. Ah, that sounded bad. Not whip, you know, work in progress. Okay. Socks for me. These are awesome. Wonder Woman. Pow. And I'm kind of a dork because I was knitting these up 2 at a time and I was like, there's white spots in my blue yarn. I don't know if they just tied it too tight and the dye didn't make it, if it was intentional, I don't understand. And one of my knit group friends looks at me and says, it's for the stars on her blue underpants. Not underpants, you know, but. And I was like, oh, I get it. So yes, Therefore, the white stars on her blue shorts. I'm pulling from the inside and the outside simultaneously to do 2 at a time. I wasn't going to go through and find the exact same spot in a color stripe to start each sock with. I didn't want to waste the yarn. So I'm just like, one stripe's going to go in order, the next one's going to be reverse order, the way I'm pulling from in and out. So they're not going to match anyway. Just go for it. Well, do you see how they're just a little off? And they are turning into the blue, yellow, red, yellow, blue, yellow, red, yellow, blue. So they could match. And just this little difference, it's driving me crazy, insane. I thought I could handle it. I can't. I can't handle it. Not at all. They're coming out. Could not handle it. Oh, that's right. What am I doing? Ripping socks out. Okay, so before that turns into a mess, I'll finish that and wind it up later and restart them. I've been doing double knitting on everything because I've been ripping it out to the very beginning, like completely. These were in 1.5 sock rockets, US. Sorry, 2.5 millimeter. How cute. And I was doing the vanilla bean striped socks pattern, and I will do so again because I want striped socks, but with a little interest to them. And the stripes are wide enough that I think the vanilla bean pattern will look really good. That's where the first row where the color changes, you slip stitches. So it kind of goes into, the previous color goes into the next stripe. So I'm hoping that looks good. With equal striping, starting at the same spot. Yay! And instead of my normal wedge toe, I'm going to try the seam-free rounded toe recommended in the vanilla bean pattern. So starting over is a good thing. See, gives me a chance to try out a new toe. Yeah, that was a lot of ripping over the last 2 weeks. I did start them the 13th, the 12th at Knit Group. And it looks like I'll be starting them over again at Knit Group tomorrow. They were the first project I started in the new year and will be so again, I guess. My goal is to work on both socks and get them finished. One, so my husband and I can wear new socks, but also so that they are finished before the Super Bowl because I want them to count for the Downseller Studio Pigskin Party. And I'm doing okay on that and tracking my progress. I'm answering Monday night football trivia questions. Well, had been. But I'm way behind on points compared to some of the other people. It's always fun to see what everybody else is finishing up and compete for prizes. So I do have a deadline on those whips and hope to get them finished. What will you do next, Danielle? I have no clue. I'm kind of in this sock phase right now, and I'm not really a great sock person. Like, I had a lot of sock whips just hanging out, not getting finished. And in the last month, I have finished 2 pairs of socks, which, again, not like me, 3. I finished 3 pairs of socks. One for me, the one I gifted my mom, and the one I gifted my sister. That had been languishing whips. So, kind of on a sock kick. I'll probably cast on another one. Self-striping. I'm in this stripey phase. And that is some of the patterns that I had been looking at. I had been stalking stripy socks, looking for a pattern for the Wonder Woman yarn, and that's where I found the vanilla bean pattern and thought that was a simple enough pattern to be interesting and still show off the stripes. They're in the pattern search in Ravelry, a lot of patterns showed up, even when putting in striped or color changing yarn as one of the requirements. And I didn't like a lot of them. The patterns got lost. Lace doesn't really look good in self-striping yarn. So still kind of searching for the next self-striping sock pattern. And who knows? I want to keep it simple enough so I can consider it a vanilla sock, anywhere knitting. And that's really all I've been stocking. I do have some new acquisitions. They are fabric though, so I'll cover them. Sorry, I'll cover them when I talk about under the needle. Yeah, so I think, I do have another acquisition that is knitting related. Everybody has been showing these off lately, and I have pom-pom envy. Look at these. Sorry for the crinkling. I have smaller ones, a black, a cream, and a gray, or a brown. They're only 3 or 4 inch pom-poms. These are 5 to 6 inch pom-poms. They have a little elastic loop, can you see, that you can string your yarn through to tie to the top of your hat. I ordered one for myself and one for our knit group has a holiday party with a gift exchange, and one of these is going in there. They are real fur. I can't remember if this is raccoon or fox. I think it's raccoon, but don't freak out. They take roadkill. This sounds really gross. They take roadkill, so the animal's already dead, getting squished. And they take their fur and make pom-poms. Look at how fluffy! I feel like the little girl in Despicable Me saying, "It's so squishy!" Ugh, I love them. That's going to look great on the top of a hat. And it has the true softness because it is real fur. I'm sorry if I'm offending people, but I eat meat and the animal's already dead. I wear leather shoes and I like fur pom-poms. It's so fluffy. Excuse me. And these are like holding little tribbles in your hands. Oh my God. Tribbles. So I'm loving them. As far as on the needles, I have done some quilting. The sewing kit that I made for my nieces for Christmas was a big hit. It is a little not quite age appropriate for them. It's fine for the older one. She just turned six. The other one is 4, and it's a little older age-wise for her. But it's fine as long as she's supervised. I think they both need to be supervised anyway. Needles and scissors. But they were a big hit. We made several simple stitched ornaments. I just took burlap, cut it to size, and had a 3-inch embroidery hoop, placed the burlap in it, traced a design, something simple, a candy cane, a ornament, a gingerbread man, and they picked their favorite color of embroidery floss. I threaded the needles for them, and we just did a simple running stitch and did the outlines of that I'd drawn in, and we had fun. I had a quilt in progress that I worked on with my mother in the new year, uh, over the holidays when I visited. We got a lot of progress made, and I will probably have enough blocks to make 3 quilts when I'm all done. Let me show you some of the blocks. Okay, again, sorry. The pattern is from Crazy Curves by Lisa Wilson. This is the stack of blocks we made. Do you see that? I haven't counted, but that's probably 30, 40 blocks, and there's still more fabric. So this is all black and white fabric. There's toiles, there's geometric prints, there's a few batiks, there is this is one of my favorite fabrics, some just regular prints, pretty florals that are muted still, geometrics, some batiks, a floral print, and just a black on white print. As long as I could separate them between light and dark. Oh, I love this. This is another one of my favorite fabrics too. Hunk O blocks. Then there's these blocks that have a double arc in them. So it doesn't just, it has, oh, this is hard. The central arc, but then it's got another smaller piece in it too. So there's 3 fabrics in that one, and there's just a few of those, maybe 10. And I still have fabric. Like I said, enough blocks for 3 quilts. Because I'm planning on using a gray fabric for, like a neutral gray, for sashing, and then a burgundy, like a red, but not a bright red, a little more muted shade, as cornerstones. So the sashing will be the crisscross, and then the cornerstones will be where they meet. More than one quilt. And it's not going to be a king size. Queen, max. So that was the quilting that I did in the new year. And we zipped through it. Had a lot of fun. My mom did the pressing, I did the sewing. Arcs, curves are not as hard to stitch as I thought they would be. I was really kind of nervous, but you pin them in 3 places, the center and both ends, ease it through the curve, and it went really quick. I did have some quilting acquisitions. Oops. And that would be more black and white fabric. And grays, but aren't they gorgeous? Look at that geometric print. It's a gray with different varying shades of gray circles. Gorgeous. Speckles, again in varying shades of gray going to black with a little hint of silver sparkle. Isn't that awesome? It's a knit stitch. Had to buy that. And just a darker gray pattern with a little silver sparkle. Couldn't resist. I have plenty of black and white and gray fabric. These were so pretty. So, hey, I'm doing enough for 3 quilts anyway. Might as well add some new fabrics. So, those were new purchases. As far as my quilting club goes for 2018, Joe's Little Women, which I'd previously participated in for the last few years, is not doing a 2018 club. So my local quilt shop has picked another company to go with, and I think it's going to be called Prairie Women Sewing Circle, and I think that's it. Tomorrow's my first class, and this is also reproduction prints, which I love, but I won't be limited to Joe Morton prints, so that'll be good. I can use all of my fabrics, and I think it's varying various designers. So again, there's a different project every month, and I think it'll go a little more in depth, and they'll have a little history story to go along with each design. We will see tomorrow. I have nothing for in the garden, and in the bee yard, I do have a few things I'd like to say. I still need to order my bees for this spring. Time is flying, and January is when most people open orders. So, get on it, Danielle. But additionally, I would like to mention a few stories that I have read in the news recently. In Sioux City, and then more recently in Prunedale, California, vandals have knocked over boxes and killed bees. Both cases, they were commercial bee yards. The one in Sioux City was mostly a honey operation, and they caught the people that did it. It was a 12 and a 13-year-old juvenile, but they caused about $80,000 worth of damage between ruining the equipment itself, the boxes and frames, and killing the bees, which a nuke is $200, which is 5 frames of bees with a queen. A package of bees, which is, again, the 3-pound box with a new queen, is $125. You get no honey from them the first year, and you have to hope that the hive takes to the queen and is successful. They have to build up stores. You can't take honey off them the first year. They need it to survive the winter. So you've lost income and increased expenses for that year. Significant financial injury to that couple. They're small business owners, as is the beekeeper in California. Somebody went through hundreds of beehives, destroyed the equipment, and sprayed it with diesel fuel, intentionally killing the bees, destroying them, wanting them dead. By spraying it with diesel fuel, he made anything they might have recovered from those boxes unusable. Can't use the beeswax, can't use the honey. It's all contaminated. This is a man who owns his own small business. He's a beekeeper, commercial beekeeper. He rents his bees out to almond growers to fertilize the trees, to strawberry growers. and he makes the majority of his income every year in the next few months. That income was just denied him because somebody was being malicious. Vandal just does not seem like a strong enough word. There is a GoFundMe page for the beekeepers if you're interested in helping out. Hopefully they'll catch and prosecute the people who did this, but that's something you won't make your money back from. Off topic. I have a lot. Sorry, it's been a month and it's a new year. I had participated in the flat envelope swap in the Yonder Woman podcast group, and my envelope that I had mailed the beginning of December, I came back from vacation in January and found it returned to sender in the mailbox for not enough postage. It said I owed $1.25 additional. Okay. And it was stamped non-machinable. Because it was a little thick, I had a few tea bags and a packet of seeds in there. So I had to take it back to the post office, add additional postage, and resend it. Get to the post office and he's like, well, this isn't right. It's not only non-machinable, it's so fat. It wasn't that fat. You could totally squish it. That it has to count as a parcel, not an envelope. It cost me $9.50 additionally to mail an envelope to Canada. I spent more on the postage than I did on what was inside the envelope, so I feel really stupid. Oh, I had to fill out a customs form. I put tea on there, but I was afraid if I added seeds that they'd stop it at the border. They were Colorado blue columbine seeds because I wanted to do something native from Colorado and give her a little piece of what life here is like. They're not going to become invasive in Canada. Columbine grows naturally in Canada, but this particular species only likes specific elevations. It's not invasive. So customs form just left it off. Didn't want additional problems. Mailed it. Hope she's received it. Drama. Welcome to the new year. I normally don't do resolutions. I don't do words. I like seeing other people's. It always makes me think. I enjoy learning how people would like to focus their lives on what is important to them as a priority. It's always interesting. I, however, just intend to begin this year as I mean to continue. I went to my prayer shawl meeting group last week. I intend to continue attending throughout the year. I have missed a lot. I generally only go half the time, if that. And I need to become a more regular attendance. I don't need to, but I would like to. I am going to my new quilt class tomorrow. I intend to make that a regular monthly event also. I have missed classes in the past, and I would like to not let that happen this year. I have attended my knit groups this year, all that I was available for. I always love attending my weekly knit group meeting. They are always so cheerful and supportive, and that's one thing I always look forward to every week. And I intend to continue getting that support from my friends. I am podcasting. I intend to maintain a regular schedule of every 2 weeks. I went months last year without podcasting because I wasn't feeling well. So, again, part of my self assessment is, have I been podcasting? Have I been attending these classes and meetings that I have said I would? If not, why not? Am I going into a slump? Am I suffering depression without realizing it? Because that's something that kind of just sneaks up on you sometimes. And yes, I'm a lot more self aware than I used to be. Therapy. But, sometimes it still sneaks up on me. And one way of determining that is if I am following a routine in my life. So, I intend to just slowly work my way through the whole house, organizing, minimizing, not Marie Kondo minimizing, but definitely getting rid of stuff that I no longer need or use. And just trying to continue with a routine. So now that you know how my life is scheduled for the next year, I hope you have enjoyed watching this podcast. If you have run across any new podcasts in the new year that you think are interesting or funny or educational, leave a comment either in the YouTube notes or in the Ravelry group notes. Speaking of which, I am Danny Girl Co. on Instagram and Ravelry. And we have a Ravelry group called My High Plains Life podcast group. And you can find show notes at www.myhighplainslife.blogspot.com. Leave a note in the Ravelry group of anything new you've discovered and anything you would recommend that we check out for the new year. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.